but it's Justice League, so you already know I'm prejudiced against them.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Heroes Peak podcast. I am your low energy host, Chris. I am here with my great co-host friends. We're here to talk about entertainment, culture, and whatever the hell we feel like. With me in a low energy state, it's James. How you doing, James?
That is not acceptable. You better go in the bathroom and get you some of that white powder and get back on set. Come on, Zack Snyder, this bad boy.
Baby powder isn't going to help me. What are you talking about?
You need to come out just came out at 300.
I get some baby oil in this thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, slow-mo that bad boy.
Just slow-mo that. All right. And not liking this conversation is Brooksy. How you doing, Brooksy?
I'm great. I feel like I'm on the set of like a porn movie or something all of a sudden.
Well, now all that
Baby
lighting in the
oil,
background. Holy
white
shit.
powder. What's happening?
See the lighting in your background, by the way? Holy shit. Are you in the sun?
It's still sunny out here in LA. Thank you.
Yeah, we had our leap forward or spring forward, so she's got another hour of daylight left.
Sure do.
And over here on the East Coast with us in the darkness, it's Keith. How you doing, Keith?
With great beard comes great responsibility.
Absolutely. Not everybody can pull these off. Takes a lot of work. And with us, without a beard, it's Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, I'm all right. Don't worry about the low energy. I will Snyder cut this episode. You'll have spice coming out of you.
Spice?
And all kinds of CGI added to this episode. So
Explosion.
Not to worry. That's right.
Can I get a slow-mo kick to the head or some decapitations?
Have the backstory of Chris wearing his little underoos when he's like, I didn't sign up for this. Don't worry, Zack Snyder this.
Did not sign up to be on a porn movie today, you guys.
Maybe I'm not going to say that. All right. So today we've got a couple of topics. We're gonna do a recap of the Grammys. Some Oscar nominations came out today. And then we have two movie reviews we're gonna try to get through. Number one, Coming to America 2, and also Raya and the Last Dragon. So that's what we got. We have a kind of, to get it all in, we're gonna have to go right down to it. So we can't spend too much time chatting today.
Tight and lean today.
Tight and lean. More porn references. All right. So Grammys, guys. Now, I did not watch the Grammys, but my daughter, my 15-year-old daughter, was super excited by the Grammys. It was like back when I was a kid and I was excited to watch MTV videos. I felt like she was watching like MTV excitement level to her. What did you guys have the same thing going around you?
Yeah, my 17-year-old daughter actually went to her friends and they all gathered together. I'm sure they're not social distancing, not learning their lessons. And they actually were watching it and texting me about the winners and who's performing. I'm like, I don't care. So if Beyonce's there, maybe I might switch to the channel, but other than that, I don't care.
Suddenly my Paramount Plus subscription comes in handy.
Oh, I kicked in for you. Nice.
Yeah, after the Super Bowl, I thought it was going to be done, but nope, that thing's sticking around. So anybody else watch it? Brooks, did you watch it?
I actually did watch it. I know it's very surprising. I literally never watch award shows, and for some reason we turned it on and I watched it, and I was actually kind of into it, mostly because Beyonce won. She got, what it was it? She won the most awards ever.
28. Yep. 28 Grammy record.
Yeah, so it was like, yeah, she broke a record. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you, James. She broke the record for most Grammy wins. So I was super into that. I really thoroughly enjoyed the performance by Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B for WAP.
Wait, I thought you weren't into a porn shoot. Did I miss something?
Because that looked like porn.
No, it definitely looked like
Showtime.
Yes.
No, that was art.
That was Showtime porn. I'm sure Red Shoe Diaries was considered art too.
Yeah,
Red
but
Shoe
what is porn
Oh,
but
that's
not
a-
naked? Isn't
That
porn
shit's a
just naked
blast from
art?
the past, James.
What's the problem?
I'm just saying, it's a modern day version of Red Shoe Diaries.
That was female empowerment art.
I'm down with it. It's good for her, but
Not according to the conservatives. That was y'all need Jesus and
no,
how
no,
dare
no.
you cancel Dr. Seuss and
As long as she
and,
put Mrs. Megan Thee Stallion in front, then she should be
Didn't see
okay.
much negative comments or anything.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear much negativity about the show.
yeah, that would, well, it just adds to their we don't have
Everyone's
policy
scared.
to talk
Everyone's
about, so
scared now.
we're gonna talk about how dare you cancel Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head.
Oh, that's
and,
right. They were
and,
busy. They were
yeah.
busy with Dr. Seuss and
Oh.
Potato Head to catch up to Megan.
And then
Thee
you
Stallion.
allow this trash on TV. And the same thing with Beyonce's speech when she thanked her fellow African queens and kings, right? And they were like, well, what about, the men and the white people? And I was like, oh, shut up.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Mike
Yeah,
has the.
and then there was
Sorry, go ahead,
Sorry, go on,
Fritzy.
Chris. There was another performance. I can't remember who it was by. But then they had Tamika Mallory come out and give a speech. And the performance like right away started with a Black man getting out of a car and cops killing him. And it was really good and super provocative. And I'm actually surprised I didn't hear more about that online, but it just felt like there were these kind of big moments, and like I'm sure all the white conservatives watching were like just not happy altogether with the Grammys.
I have a feeling they weren't really watching this year. I have a
No, they
feeling
don't watch.
No,
they
they
don't
don't
actually
watch.
watch it.
Yeah.
They hear.
they'll
Yeah.
pick out one thing, one
Country
performance that
music.
gets it
Yeah,
that
the
they
Country
can complain
Music
about.
Review
Yeah.
Award, because my sister was watching it and she's has a background in the Midwest, and she was telling me the highlight of some of her conservative friends were the new artist for country music that won. Apparently, she's like very popular in the Midwest. So that was the highlight for a lot of people of that background that was following. No one talked about Beyonce. No one talked about what's his name?
First of all, everybody
Mars.
talks about Beyonce all the time. So how do you say nobody talked
I'm
about
talking
it?
about in that
Also,
little Midwestern culture, not
Right.
us.
The performance
No,
was by Lil Baby, by the way.
The Beyonce
I
thing
think
wasn't
that
as big as Wet, 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 right? So
Okay, so question: what were the
Wet, Wet is
best?
the edit version that they sang.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. I didn't hear you.
What was the best performances? So I asked my daughter, and she rated Billie Eilish #1,
Oh, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Harry Styles #2, but I think that's a little crush.
That's yeah.
I think that's a crush on her, and Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa, yeah.
I'm gonna
see that
go-
performance.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with WAP with the best performance of the night.
Who?
Of course you will.
So Serena goes, Bruno Mars was very good, but Dua Lipa still had the best performance.
I did go and watch the Dua Lipa thing, and it was a really cool production design. And that's how I look at it. So I look at all this stuff. But no, it was cool. Like the whole stage setup was really nice, and the performance was good.
Shout out to Bruno Mars, who's still, he doesn't have an album out as far as I know, and he's still making performances.
Well, I hear that album with him and
Yeah, Anderson.
Anderson .Paak is
Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
I hear that that's good though.
Yeah, that they performed because they have an album together.
I gotta listen to that.
Mm.
The
didn't
other
even
thing
know
that I
that.
thought was super interesting was they had a country music performer who was Black perform. And that was like a big provocative situation as well.
Was it not
Um,
Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish?
No, it wasn't.
No.
Didn't we go through this? Didn't they go through this with Lil Nas X already?
No, but this guy's a real country music singer.
It's an actual country music, not just
It was
Yeah.
a
playing
woman.
songs.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a
I guess
female.
I didn't see it.
She. My sister
Yeah.
actually texted me
It
about
was-
that.
Yeah, it was. She was really good. I actually liked the song. I was like, do I like country music? And then someone else performed, and I was like, okay, no, I
don't.
don't. That's right.
You
Yeah.
like
The other thing that was really interesting.
I get to be the only
was,
person on this podcast who likes country.
Great, you got that. That is all yours. The other thing that was really interesting was so Billie Eilish gets like performer of the year or whatever like the last one is, the last award. I forget what it is, but that's like the big one usually. And she gets up and accepts it and was like, I'm super embarrassed. This is not my award. This should be Megan Thee Stallion. And then went off about how great Megan Thee Stallion was and how Billie Eilish didn't deserve the award and it should have gone to Megan Thee Stallion. And I really liked that. And then it kind of a little bit reminded me, but not totally, of when Taylor Swift won like video of the year and Kanye went up and, you know, interrupted her and was like, this should have been Beyonce's. Because we all know it actually should have gone to Beyonce. Yeah. And I felt the same way. I felt like this should have been Megan Thee Stallion's. And even even Billie Eilish knew it.
Yeah, that was the Artist of the Year. Artist of the Year award.
Artist of the Year. Thank you.
Yeah. I think speaking of Taylor, did she not win Album of the Year?
Mm-hmm.
She won something.
She won Album of the Year.
For the third year in a row. Yep. You're correct.
And she's what, the one of the only,
I think the only one to win 3 straight Album of the Years.
Yep.
So let's switch gears a little bit now from the Grammys to the other major award show, which is the Academy Awards, the Oscars.
That's the one I like better, by the way.
So do I, because it kind of overlaps with, you know, nerd geekdom and pop culture.
Yeah.
To a better extent than the Grammys. So the announcements were done earlier this week. We're Wednesday, Tuesday, losing track of days we're on. So off the bat, the first thing I want to notice is I want to comment on is the fact that I think the Oscars took to heart the Oscars So White and more women directors, all that stuff from the last couple of years. And now they're like they're bludgeoning us to death in almost some cases where they're giving us multiple female directors up for movies. Some of them very deserving.
Wait, do you think they're overcorrecting? I don't think they're overcorrecting.
I think they're overcorrecting in some cases. Yeah, I think they are.
If they deserve it, then they deserve it, right?
No, but
I don't know.
Like in the past, you could even say some of the Caucasian American movies were not deserving to be movies of the year. So now I feel like when they're overcorrecting, they're making the same mistakes. They're not necessarily picking great movies. They're just picking movies with people of color or women at the power positions, which is not really solving.
You know what? Good. Because for a really long time, you got picked because you were white. So fuck it. Reverse it. Flip it. Cool. I don't care.
I hear that. But let's just be fair and balanced right now and talk about the quality of the announcement.
Why? Fuck that.
We don't have to be fair and balanced right now.
No, because we critique the same movies.
At all.
We critique these terrible movies when they're being announced to begin with. All the time. We did that. Like, why the hell The Crown is being nominated? It's trash, you know? So why can't we do the same? Why can't we say The Five Bloods Five Bloods didn't get nominated?
I'm gonna have to throw
because generally, if a movie is black, if movies are black and it gets nominated, it's generally a good movie.
It's generally a good movie.
It has to be outstanding
to just get the nomination.
I'm gonna have to throw up the
just
CNN
want the
logo
opportunity. Just want the opportunity to be mediocre. That's all.
And that's the most important thing to me. Like, like people really keep talking about access and this, that, and the other. Like, true equality happens when you're free to be mediocre.
I'm with you.
When you don't have to be the best person in the room to get the same position that a mediocre white man can get.
I agree with that, but that doesn't leave you closed off from any critiques. Let's just talk about it.
No, I'm just saying we can speak about the merits, the artistic merits, definitely.
Yeah. So I ended by saying the same problem still exists with the Oscars. That was my opening call was, okay, so now we're throwing, more women, more people of color, Asians, Indians, African Americans. But the problem with the award show still exists is the way that they pick some of these movies versus the way the movies are actual quality movies or not. That's my gist with the entire Oscars.
They aren't robots, and I really feel like the Oscars reflect all award shows actually should and do reflect actually like the leanings of the general public sentiment. So I like those are those are the focuses of this societal moment, I see no reason why it should not cross over into the award shows. I'm not a big award show person myself. I didn't watch the Grammys. I'm definitely not watching the Oscars, whatever. Like this. But I definitely still see and understand why the weighting of these non-technical things, these very subjective award shows, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they are going to reflect a lot of the like the leanings of the society at the time.
Here's a great example of this, right? Let's get real specific. So by the way, we have 2 female directors now up for a nod as opposed to 0 in the past. One of them is a woman of color. She's Chloe, and she's directing Nomadland, which I didn't see the entire movie. I saw bits and pieces of it. It actually won the Golden Globes we talked about 2 podcasts ago. But to me, to nominate that on the strength that it's a reasonable, good movie, got a woman of color as director, and not give Regina King the same nod for her movie in One Night in Miami, to me, it's like, all right, are we just going to nominate people because they're diverse and they're women, or we're going to actually, again, look at the content of the product that we're nominating versus that person's effort and work towards that content. And I don't think the Oscars has ever really, with some exceptions, they don't really focus on that. And maybe it's part of what you're saying, Keith, is like the judges themselves, whoever sits on this Academy Award panel, they have their own criteria, what they consider to be, an Oscar-worthy movie or Oscar-worthy directing performance, and then somebody's telling them in the back room, hey, we need more females this time. So pare it down to at least 1 or 2 more females. And then they're like, well, between these 2, I'm going to go with this one for whatever reason. That's my problem, the Oscars. I grew up always watching the Oscars from like I was 6, 7 years old all the way through now. And it seems like the quality of the movies that are being nominated are no longer connecting with the general audience. People actually go to the movies, actually watch this, talk about it with their parents and their families, go on podcasts to talk about these movies. There's all types of highbrow podcasts that I watch out there that sometimes they don't even mention some of these Oscar nominations. They think, oh, here the Oscars are, here they go again, trying to go through a certain type of clientele. And then there's like a bunch of these other movies that are not being nominated. Like, that's what I really want to talk about when it comes to the Oscars. Not the fact that, yeah, we're finally getting more women, finally getting more Black people. We should be able to be mediocre as them. Yeah, I give you that. Sometimes I don't agree with that point because then we get like Black Lightning. Yeah, let's be mediocre superheroes like freaking Supergirl. Let's give each other Black Lightning. Let's praise that. I don't know. I'm on the fence with that. But the point is, okay, once we get to the table, we're all kind of equal being mediocre. Let's look at what are we eating? What's at the table? What are we eating for dinner? Is this worthy of us to be eating just because it's made from, Guyana or made from China or Ireland? No, the food is terrible. Let's talk about the food. Let's talk about the movies. Let's talk about why certain movies are being nominated over others, regardless of whether it's a person of color.
Let's talk about the opportunity that a person of color has to direct these quote unquote great movies that you're talking about, because mostly they don't have that opportunity. Mostly they don't have the ability to even go to the schools, to like even be accepted to the schools you can be accepted to like start your careers in directing these movies. So like, I feel like it's deeper than just the content of the movie, which is super subjective, right? Like that's so subjective. It's like, I like a movie, so therefore I think it's great and I think everybody should like it. Like that's elitist. And I think that's my general problem with the award show. It tends to be like fairly elitist and racist, like usually flat out racist. So
I agree. I do see a trajectory of more Hollywood filmmakers who are people of color or women that are looking to push the next generation up through, whether it's NYU schooling or UCLA or different programs. I know Lena Rafe is doing a program that my brother just applied for. I see there's a pivot in it. And we're not going to get there within the next 5 years. I don't think so. You're right. There is a problem. We're still not there. We're still not equal. And I'm not discounting that at all. I'm just saying once we have something in front of us, we still need to be objective and fair about what are we looking at for quality. Are we going to accept anything mediocre just because it's made by a woman? made by a person of color, a person from the same background as us, or are we going to be able to critique it fair and square and say, you know what, maybe not this movie, maybe this is not the one I want to put my flagpole on. Maybe it's not Nomadland by an Asian director. Maybe it is One Night in Miami by Regina King. Because
let's put our flagpole on all of them. Why not?
Wait, where was that again? I didn't hear you.
I said, you said I don't want to put my flagpole on like the specific movie, and I said let's put them on all of the movies. Every movie directed by a black person, good or bad.
This is not a Disney movie we live in. We can't. Let's all sparkle.
But what I'm saying is, white people have done that for Oscars and for Grammys and all of the award shows.
White people still battle amongst themselves when it comes to these movies too. That's why we have Entertainment Weekly. That's why you have all these other magazines that are arguing about this show should be over. This one got snubbed. Right after the announcements, there was a whole entertainment segment about who got snubbed from the Oscars and who blah blah blah. I mean, that's part of the award show, regardless whether it's white, black, Hispanic. That's a whole different
exactly
topic.
So if that's part of it, then like, why not have, I mean, if you're saying like people are getting snubbed or movies are getting, there's like this thing about movies getting snubbed, that it's like a white thing that movies are getting snubbed or whatever it was you said. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, for a really long time, like, just on a basic principle, like movies starring black people were not even at the Oscars or allowed to be, you know what I mean? Like, you weren't even, like, black people weren't even allowed to go to the Oscars at some point, let alone be nominated for them, or you know what I mean? Like, and so now I say, why not like have a mediocre movie included? Because for so long, white bad movies were included. I don't want to say like white movies, but movies made by white people were included.
No, I hear you. I'm not discounting your point at all. I'm just, from my point of view, it's like, once we start resting on our laurels and just accepting the fact that, yeah, now we can compete with terrible movies like everyone else, it takes away the quality of what you should be as an artist. First and foremost is creating the best content that you can create. Why settle to be like your colleagues because now it's accepted to be your colleagues? I'm going to throw out a Black Lightning TV show because it's black, and then like not aim for a Black Panther and not aim for something of a better quality.
Some people like Luke Cage. There are black people who like Luke Cage. There are black people who like Black Lightning. Like, understand, like, I feel like my appreciation of certain things might be of a certain degree better than someone else's, or not even better, or whatever, more intense, or whatever the word you want to call it.
Right. You understand MCU.
So there's levels of quality to which, like, I am not gonna like that some others may like in a general sense. Cool. Like, I don't like Medea. Or I don't like that Tyler Perry Medea stuff. Respect Tyler Perry and what he's done, but like, that Medea stuff is not my cup of tea, but a huge following. Like, that's the church circuit, the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
Like, the black folk love that, and that's great. Those award shows, and if we're being real, those award shows come down to people, individual judges, who are very much influenced by the times. And I'm not even talking about they might be intentionally influenced. They might, it's just a thing. You have thoughts on it. Like, oh, like the Grammy so racist, I might automatically now start looking more at Black directors, at Black, like, because that's what the times call for. So I think, like, there's a discussion every year, even with racist Hollywood or racist Grammys, or Oscars, Grammys, or what you call it. There's already a conversation about, like, oh, the quality of movies that won versus, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's going to happen anyway, because we all like things and products to certain different degrees. It's all subjective. So the fact that it's all subjective, I know every year or every 10 years or every grouping of years, there are going to be societal leanings on these decision makings. I'm just glad it's leaning in our direction. I'm glad we're having this conversation about our movies. I'm glad we're having the conversation about like whether they are of the quality or not. I'm happy for that discussion space. Yes, let's talk about it.
And that's what started the conversation. That's exactly what started the conversation.
Are trash.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
Free to call them trash, and that's fine. But like the idea that we can have the conversation about them, and like they're part of the discussion now, and that's the win.
Yeah,
I agree. Thank you for saying that. So.
No, but I mean, just to recap, it's not. I didn't discount anything that Brooke said, but I'm thinking like the step off. Okay, we can't just pause and rest and celebrate. We have just like we do with other movies.
That's
we
a
have
huge
to,
assumption.
like, and then Chris is not here. This would have been a great example for him. Is the whole Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman in the Marvel versus DC when Woman came out. When Wonder Woman movie came out, it was a landmark achievement for any female superhero movie ever, right? We all praised it. We all gave it a heads up, whatever. And then Marvel tried to double down on that with Captain Marvel. And as soon as any male Marvel fan had a comment to make on social media, all of a sudden it was toxic masculinity. It was like, wait, what's wrong? You're not feeling women empowerment? I'm like, no. I love a strong female character that's developed great. The content to me is what sticks out first.
Actually, the perfect example of that is the Charlie's Angel reboot directed by Elizabeth Banks. And when that movie tanked, the first thing she did was blame toxic masculinity on the failure of the movie. And which, you know, it doesn't fly because the first two movies were successful. She blamed the failure on that men didn't like strong female characters. And we know that's bullshit, right?
I disagree with you. I think I didn't see the movie and I've never even heard of it, but I don't think that. Right. I don't think it's bullshit.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Okay, let me rephrase it then. In this case,
without Chris, we're all over the place here.
No. In this case, it was bullshit because the movie was terrible. I saw the movie; it was awful. And when Wonder Woman had just come out and did way better and was more appreciated and enjoyed, you can't. It's not really a comparison. You can't go, oh, they don't like strong female characters when Wonder Woman just made like $10 billion, right? And everybody loved it. So it's just, that's why it didn't fly with me.
Just to put a bow on it, like if I'm a female, and I had this conversation with both my wife and my daughter when they saw Wonder Woman, they saw Captain Marvel. They didn't feel like, you know what, why? Because as a woman, I gotta feel pressure to like this movie and say, yay, Captain Marvel, this, that, and the third. No, it was terrible. They didn't like it. And just because it's made by a woman, with starring a woman, doesn't mean that it was terrible.
No.
The point is, I mean, Keith's point of things are subjective, but when we take the big picture, right? It's you shouldn't have to automatically say, yeah, I'm gonna put my flagpole in that movie because it stars a female character, it's helmed by a woman writer, all this, and because women have been shelved in the background for too long, this is our time to shine. Let's throw out Captain Marvel. Let's go, yay, we're in the game now against, you know, the rest. No, I'm not. I don't believe that. I believe that yes, you should praise when whether it be women, people of color, whatever it is, when you get through the door, yeah, always praise that. Never not praise that at all. But we can't fall, you know, prey to like just accepting something because of that. We have to demand ourselves and people of other situations to do better and appreciate when they're not only when they adore, but they're doing great with what they're given. Not just be like, yeah, it's cool to be mediocre. Welcome to the game, buddy. Yeah, you don't do that.
And this is we're welcome back after a colossal failure by Windows. We are going to go right into our Coming to America review, and I did have the IMDb up, but it really
don't do it. Don't do it.
No. I got it on my phone now, so I'm looking down. That's why I'm now looking down. So Coming to America 2.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
You've heard of this. You've seen this, right? You know what that is.
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.
Is this not why you are here?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Knock that shit off.
For anybody old enough to remember the original, it's a sequel with pretty much the entire cast back for the comedy that came out in 1990. Gosh, I can't remember what year it came out.
1988, I think.
88.
88.
Oh, shit, it's old.
I'm right.
We're old.
Thanks.
Holy shit, we're old.
Whoa.
You guys, not to get sidetracked, but I had my 25th high school reunion this weekend, so I'm feeling a little old over here. I know.
Ooh.
Well, happy birthday to my brother who turned 49 a couple of days ago.
Happy birthday.
That's an ouchie age-wise, even for me, because I'm like, oh, I'm getting
That's
close.
it.
I'm getting close there.
After 49, it's all downhill.
We'll see. All right. So Coming to America 2, starring Eddie Murphy. Whew. And Arsenio Hall, directed by Craig Brewer, just came out. The African monarch Akeem learns that he has a long-lost son in the United States and must return to America and meet his unexpected heir. Okay. Chris is going to be playing the part of the person who did not watch the movie.
You gotta be.
Are you playing me? Are you playing me, Chris?
I will be playing the role of Brooksy today.
You didn't watch it? Wow.
I actually at 8:00 tonight, I sat down and went, oh shit. And I turned it on for like 25 minutes. So I saw the beginning before they actually came to America. So that's going to be all I can contribute today. And I'm going to let the folks who so wanted to talk about this
Brooks,
have their words. So Brooksy,
I mean,
it's all to you.
Coming to America is one of my all-time favorite movies, right?
That's a great movie.
Hands down. It is a great movie. Like, it's one of those movies that when it comes on TV, I'm immediately stopping what I'm doing and I'm watching the movie. Like, if I've got plans to meet Keith and James at the bar, those plans are now in 2 hours because I'm watching Coming to America.
Now we know why you're always.
Now we know.
They're like, what is she putting on makeup? What is she getting dressed? No, she's watching Coming to
She
America
said she was an
America.
A
on
train.
TBS.
Like the A train doesn't take that long. It's express.
Hershey
Right.
TBS.
And it comes on. It used to come on TBS when I had cable. It came on TBS a lot. So like, the movie is like that important to me. I feel like it just, I'm always watching it. It's my all-time favorite movie. I feel like it has a lot, like, for the culture, it's a very like important movie. So I was very excited for Coming to America 2. Keith's laughing at me. That's fine. I was very excited for Coming to America 2 because I was like, even if it's bad, it's going to be good, right? Like that was my thinking. Even if it's bad, it's going to be good. It's like having bad sex. Like it's still good because it's sex. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I was going to say pizza, but damn.
Or
We're
pizza.
back to pork, Chris. Back to pork, Chris.
So let me get this straight. Coming to America is your Empire Strikes Back, is what I hear.
Sure.
She won't get that. Never mind.
She doesn't get the joke. Yeah. It's her favorite movie.
But how can you watch it on TBS? Because it's so edited. Like the first movie was rated R.
It has zero to do with it.
Yeah.
Do with it.
Yeah.
It just, if it comes on, I'm watching it. It's just like, that's just one of those movies.
Well, I think that the
the
humor of the original Coming to America surpassed the swears or whatever that got edited on TBS.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Die Hard. You can watch that on TBS and still get 99% of what makes it great.
Yippee-ki-yay, clown.
Coming to America is probably my favorite comic movie of all time.
Wow.
Agreed. Yes.
This movie
Okay. Let's see where we're coming
Definitely
from.
top 5.
That boy good.
It's a great movie.
It was the skits, and the fact that that most of the characters were Eddie and Arsenio. Like the movie, the concept, it was hilarious. Like that was this part 2 or Coming to America 2 or Again or where it was so unnecessary.
I don't know
Now,
about unnecessary, but
okay, let me ask you about this. All right, so we're gonna start with the first half hour because I saw that. So we'll start
definitely top 5. Look ahead.
So the first half hour brings you back to the big country that he's the prince of, and it introduces you to his family. Yes, his family, the country as they are today. What did you think of this opening? Did you feel like, oh, I feel like I'm back? Oh, it feels good just to see it, or was it like, I'm waiting until I see Arsenio do something fun, something great? Was the joke about the grandkids being vegan burgers? Was it like trying too hard? Like, what did you think of how it opened?
I did think it was trying too hard. And I think I was also like so hypercritical because I just wanted it to be so good that the lens I was looking at it was like ultra hypercritical. But yeah, it was like trying too hard. I just wanted them to like leave, like come start where they left off almost. Like it just didn't have to be all of this, like, I don't know, like vegan burger, and it just like,
but that's
it was
what
too
old
much.
people think they're making fun of now. Old people think they have to make fun of vegan burgers and wokeness and being old. Like that's modern comedy is what I see.
But it should have just been how it was. Like the comedy, the way they did it. Like there was a couple of scenes which I can't even remember that I was like, oh, there it is. And then it was like instantly gone. I'm like, oh, never mind. Like, I just feel like their chemistry was lost. Everything about it was just not even there.
The energy was low. Okay, Keith, you have a lot to say. Keith has a lot to say.
No, I agree with everything she's saying. Like, it's just like.
But I wonder if
it was trying way too hard to pull everything from the first movie. Like,
you didn't like the 30-year-old joke of the girl still hopping on one foot, barking like a dog.
I mean,
it could have been funny. It could have been funny.
It just like sat there. And I was like, wow, that's a long time for a punchline.
Right.
They didn't update things so much as just like pull them from the past. Like,
right.
It was like they pulled as many elements from the other movie as they could, as specifically as they could. Like, I didn't really enjoy that. I should say, like, it was cute. It was a very big nostalgia piece to me.
I just wonder though if the decision to make it PG-13 had something to do with it too, right? They had to trim it down, like
they were looking for a larger draw.
I don't think that made it.
No, I get that, but did it affect the quality of the film is what I'm asking.
I don't think that made a difference.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think raunchy comedy would have saved at least what I saw. I enjoyed a few of the jokes me and my son were watching it for the few minutes, and I felt like, oh, hey, Arsenio's that old witch woman, right? Oh, hey, I know that joke. Like, he's like, oh, he kind of laughed at the fleek joke, and I'm like, okay, like we got a few giggles, but like I'm assuming the entire movie kind of runs in the same gamut as what I saw.
Yeah. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get like worse, but it doesn't get better.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
Yeah, same here. That's what I thought too after I watched it. I was like, yeah, this wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
I thought there was some standout performances, and I know, here we go. We're gonna James' hot take with Leslie Jones.
Oh,
that was.
Please don't even get Keith and I started on her.
James is the type of person to have like Airplane be his favorite comedy movie.
Because it is my favorite comedy movie.
Hilarious.
Naked Gun is his second favorite.
My favorite comic actor is Liam Neeson.
No, I mean Leslie.
Leslie.
I'm sorry, Leslie Nielsen.
Hey, don't knock Canadian Leslie Nielsen. He's hilarious.
Oh, there's our American version?
What?
Is there an American version?
I think he's just pointing out that he's Canadian.
Oh, okay. So my hot take, moving back on, my hot take was that Leslie Jones and Wesley Snipes, to me, every scene that they're in kept me at least engaged in the movie a little bit more than Arsenio and Eddie. I hate to say it.
I had the exact opposite reaction.
Wow.
No, I thought Leslie was good. I thought Tracy was good too. He was all
You
right.
didn't think Wesley Snipes was good?
I thought
Wesley Snipes
was the best.
saved the movie, hands down. My favorite
All right,
character.
we all agree on that
Saved the
one.
movie. The best part of the movie by far. Like I felt like, and that to me is like in the vein of Coming to America, but like not trying to make it modern. You know what I mean? Like that, like just how like sticky it was, however you say that word. You know what I mean? Like how it just was like out there and hilarious. But that's what Coming to America was for me in general. You know, you have some scenes that are just so out there, but it's hilarious and it works. And that's why Wesley Snipes works. And that to me is why Leslie Jones did not work. Also, just the whole plot of like, let's go back and basically like Eddie Murphy gets date raped, you know, essentially.
Yeah,
and like,
we
let's go
glossed
back
over
and
that.
create this scene where he gets date raped and then she like gets pregnant and has an heir. It's like that whole plot was so unnecessary to me. Like it was so unnecessary.
All right.
Why was that the plot?
They could have focused on the fact that their daughter wanted to be queen, but he felt like he had to bring her to America to see what poverty was so that she could be a more like, compassionate queen as opposed to like living in royalty her whole life. That would have been a better narrative than what we got for this movie.
Totally. It could have been Coming to America and one of his known heirs, goes back to America and has similar funny experiences that he had. That would have worked for me.
And the minimal storyline that they had going on as it was moved along way too fast. Like the dude fell in love with the hairdresser. Like they met like twice. Like what do you like? You in love already? Like,
and then she's about to leave to get married to America, like in a church that she has.
I mean, it was just like things were just. Yeah, and the only reason the storyline is sped up is to create room to throw all this other stuff into the movie that's pulling from the original movie. Like you could have created more of its own original content and made it a better story.
So I'm going through the list of writers here, and there's always going to be a writer's room to a lot stuff like this. But most all of these people have been working with Eddie Murphy for a long time, and they all have like Boomerang and Nutty Professor and the first Coming to America on their sheets. So like, does it feel like everything's too old? Like,
yeah, I think those writers. Like, you just said it.
They need somebody fresh with fresh eyes coming in.
They should get you writers that was working with Tiffany Haddish, was working with Kevin Hart, working with like the popular African American comedians in this day and age, and not like from days yore. They gotta upgrade. They gotta go with I don't know. Maybe Eddie wasn't behind all this. Maybe it was the producers who were like, "Yeah, we got some good writing for this," and he just signed on anyway.
Well, it's Eddie's production company, so
this production company, so yeah.
I was disappointed between the chemistry of Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. Like that to me is one of the things that made the first movie, and I just didn't feel it. I also just didn't feel Arsenio Hall's acting in general in this movie for some reason. Like
I was gonna say, your point is great. I noticed that too, but that's because I think Eddie and Arsenio have diverged their career paths, whereas Eddie continued to be in movies and hone his craft, whereas Arsenio unfortunately didn't. So it was clear, like when you see the two of them on screen, someone has been like working his craft a long time, and then the other person is just trying to rehash what he did 30 years ago.
Yeah, but what is the last? What is if I were to ask you, what was the last really funny Eddie Murphy movie?
Dolomite. I love that movie. We talked about
Dolomite was good. Yeah.
Okay. I did not watch that. I'm sorry. You're right. That just came out.
We talked about it on the pod. Don't be Brooks.
How did I get brought into this?
About pod
I can't remember anything in general. I smoked a lot of weed in my life. I have no memory. It's not my fault. Somehow.
It's not my fault.
But to Brooks's point, that chemistry was terrible. That's why I was turned off by watching the two of them mostly when they're together, and more entertained by Leslie and Wesley.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of hers, unfortunately.
We'll talk about that another time.
Well, there's a.
Yeah,
there's-
I'm not a big. I'm not. Cheers
She-
to her success though, but
I would call her an aggressive comedian.
Yes. I don't like the word aggressive.
Me
But we can
neither.
get into
I
that
mean,
later.
Chris Farley was also an aggressive comedian. So I know it's
Yeah.
it's someone
Yeah.
who's
More like
who's-
slapstick, but yeah,
well, no, they're also big and in your face,
physical,
like
physical,
Right.
comedy.
physical,
Yeah.
physical in their
Physical
comedy.
comedy.
You know, it's a style. John Belushi was like that in a lot of his SNL days.
Yeah, big comedians use their physicality as part of their art.
Like
What's
being
it-
funny.
Jones happens
What's-
to be a big female.
What's his name? I
Who's her
hate.
size.
Uses it quite a
Who?
bit.
Who do you hate?
Um,
Don't tell me Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Yeah, that's the guy.
Oh,
Literally
my.
the worst comedian of all
All
time.
right, we
Literally.
need to go to D Block because this is we're about to.
But I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna say I give the movie a C if we're gonna do.
So did I.
Yeah.
Solid C.
Mike trying to get us to letter grades. I like it, Mike. Keep us on track.
yeah.
Well, that was James was supposed to be doing this, not me, right? James promised I'm gonna keep everybody on time. We're gonna
I
do
know.
2 reviews in one
sorry.
That's
show.
your fault for believing him.
I know,
So
Mike. I reverse jinxed myself.
yeah.
All right. Brooksy, what's your letter grade?
My letter grade is a C minus,
Ooh.
Hmm.
And Keith.
actually.
I'm gonna go solid C. I
All right.
snickered.
I think
By
I'm
the
gonna
way,
finish it. I
Go
I had
ahead,
a
go
few
ahead.
laughs at the first one. I can't give it a letter grade because I watched
You didn't
25
finish
minutes.
it.
It's unfair. But I'll say I'm probably gonna finish it at least.
I was gonna say
I might
Eric
actually-
gave it an A minus.
Wow.
Eric,
He was really he watched
Are
both
we?
movies.
Is it
Yeah,
us that's the problem?
I feel like I might have thought differently about it if I was younger right now and I never saw the first one, or
Are we
like-
comparing it to such a high peak?
yeah.
I can't not. Yes, I can. I
Yeah,
can't
but
not.
can't-
He
I
saw
compare.
the
can't
first
not
one, so I don't
avoid-
know what effect the first one had on his mind compared to this one, but he liked both.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If I was younger right now, if I was like Eric's age, and I've seen them in like such close proximity now, like, and I'm just watching. I've watched Coming to America as an old movie, and I'm
Mhm.
watching this now. Like, I think maybe I'd have a totally different experience.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go
I do
ahead.
want to give one shout. They did that thing again with the Mortimers from Trading Places. I don't know if you guys noticed that the
Yeah.
grandson was the broker or something.
Mhm.
I thought that was funny.
That was
At
cute.
least, yeah.
All right. Well, we gave our grades.
Sorry.
We gave everybody a hint. I would say it's watchable. You say
Probably
it's
watch it
watchable?
again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll watch it again just to like get another outlook on it.
Moving forward. Now, on to the next movie. We are going to be talking Raya and the Last Dragon. This is also a 2021 release. Disney animated picture.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
You've heard of this. You've seen this, right? You know what that is.
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.
Is this not why you are here?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Knock that shit off.
In a realm known as Kumandra, a reimagined Earth inhabited by an ancient civilization, a warrior named Raya is determined to find the last dragon. That's the
You
very
are the
basic
last dragon.
plot, not pop plot. So this stars Kelly Marie Tran, Rose from Star Wars movies as Raya, Aquafina as Sisu, the dragon, and a large, well-named cast. I'm going through this and I'm like, oh, I know that person. I've seen that person. I know a show that person's on. I know a movie they're in.
Mhm.
So a great voice cast, without it being like, and voiced by Eddie Murphy, the dragon. Well, that's a bad example because he did voice a dragon in a Disney movie, but like What's a good? Never mind. All right, I didn't go.
Well, the guy who played Jin in Lost, and he was also in Hawaii Five-0. He played
Yeah, he played the dad.
and I recognize his voice automatically.
Yeah, Daniel Kim.
Daniel Kim, thank you. Daniel
All
J.
right, so
Kim.
let's
Daniel J.
start
Kim.
this off as an animated movie. You have a few things you want to look at. So first, the animation style, and Disney has kind of morphed themselves into a very modern style, where very almost Pixar-y, where you have very detailed backgrounds and characters, but they're not like human. It's very stylized look for everybody. What did you guys think of the animation, the style, I saw some talk online, if you guys care about the way the dragon looks, what did you guys think?
Problem with the dragon?
It looked a little
People would
flamboyant.
say it looks like Elsa with fangs.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
I did.
So it's the what we call anime eyes, the very accentuated eyes they put on women characters in animation to make them look more innocent or whatnot.
Yeah, the dragon didn't seem as like violent or
but I don't think
aggressive.
she was supposed to. I think the voice, when Aquafina came out as a voice, I thought it felt better. The way the dragon felt more not innocent, but not scary, until they tried to make it scary. So I don't know if anybody has any opinions on this. I personally love the animation
one
style.
thing that I noticed watching it with Eric, because he's been trying to get me to watch a lot of anime recently, is to the untrained eye, it had an anime feel to it. Maybe it's because of the fight choreography, but I felt like the intro scene when she was going through the temple for the dragon gem gave me like an anime look to how the characters move and they jump and the quick cuts and the leaps. That was my sense of watching it, because I don't think I've seen any other Disney movie that showed such stylized, dynamic motion of the character of the cartoon move as such, other than anime movies that I've been watching with Eric. So maybe I'm totally off. You know better than I do, Chris, about anime style. But that's the impression I got watching.
I would say if we sorry, did I cut somebody off? No. Okay.
No.
I would say if you go back to probably about Tangled, you would start to see this new Disney style. It does definitely take some cues from the anime style that has become very popularized. There's an American version. It's kind of like American version of food from other countries. We kind of take it and we kind of mix and match and make our own little version of it. And Disney has this style now. Probably, if anybody watch Moana?
I did not see that, but Eric said that reminded him. That movie reminded him.
So it's definitely a sibling of the Moana style, and the putting a lot of detail into things like hair, water, sky, movement. If you watch, like I try a lot of the CGI anime on Netflix, and everybody is like stop motion moving, whereas this obviously much higher end stuff, but it's smooth. Everybody moves naturally. All the movement, the speaking, the facial expressions, super expressive. So it's definitely stylized in a way, but super high quality animation, and I thought it was great. And what James was saying, we'll talk about. It's kind of in the direction here. Is this was definitely an action movie.
Yeah.
And so since Mulan, we saw a little bit in Tangled and a little bit in Moana with I can't think of his name. The Rock's character. Anyway, so you're starting to get a little bit more action oriented in the princess genre of movies, the Disney princess genre.
Yeah, the missing moms and the dads having to be the main figure.
Yeah, we were having that conversation. But the action here was very visible. Every sword swing, kick, punch, block, it was all well choreographed, better than half of our bad kung fu movies that we watch, right?
I had a
And-
feeling like this was like mo-capped, and I didn't do the research. I'm guessing
I did
here.
not either, and that
But
would
that's
be
the
interesting to
impression I
find
had.
out. Yeah.
Some of those fight scenes seem too realistic, grounded.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like when the two of them, when they're fighting as adults,
Mhm.
when Raya met,
Spoilers, everybody.
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll play it at the beginning
When
of the.
when she fought the other antagonist as an 18-year-old,
Mhm.
that first fight seemed extremely grounded and realistic. Like the maneuvers and the movements where there's judo or aikido, it seemed very realistic at what they were doing. Like almost like somebody was mo-capped and then
Mhm.
they drew over that and then they etched it out.
Yeah, the other character, Namari, was the
Thank
main
you.
antagonist.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're right. You guys remember seeing that the mocap they did for the Star Wars final fight with
For Clone Wars, yeah.
Clone Wars, yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that.
And we all saw that and went, wow, that's a great fight. And then we saw that they mocapped some real actors doing it. And yeah, it did feel that smooth, and all the moves, even if enhanced a little bit, some of the flips and stuff, it all felt really powerful and well done, like real trained fighters fighting.
Yeah. But
All right.
Mike, what do you think of the animation and graphics?
Yeah, I thought it was typical great Disney style. I mean, I didn't have an issue with it. It didn't, nothing really stood out to me comparable to the other Disney films. Like you could tell it's a more, like if you watch this, and obviously, of course, if you watch like Cinderella, Snow White, obviously you see
Cinderella's got some 7th degree black.
yeah, but obviously you see the technical details are a lot more advanced, right, in the animation and all of that. But
Dude,
like
you give me Disney movies with like Ip Man style kung fu, I'm in there every day.
yeah, I enjoyed those fight scenes and everything. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, right? The story was good for me, and it was a lot. It was funny as well, right? It made me laugh a few times. So,
well, let's go into the story a bit. So I called the story. It's very direct. I didn't think it veered too much away from its central theme, trust and whatnot, which is a good kids animation movie should have a central theme that it wants to throw out there. Do you guys think it like the side characters, they were kind of flat, but they all worked towards the theme? Even though they were funny, they were good characters, but it's not like they went through story arcs or anything like that. Like the whole story felt like it was shooting for its shot and it went directly there. Like it didn't veer, didn't run around, didn't try anything wild story wise. What did you guys think about the story?
Well, for me, it's a little predictable. Even watching it, without any sort of background story of what this character was. This was a new creation by Disney. But I felt like within 15 minutes, I knew where the story was going to go. And every other upcoming scene, every new stage, I thought, oh, this is what's going to happen next. They're using tropes from this, and this, and this. And it was cute seeing it done the way they did it, despite the fact that I kind of felt it, every plot and twist. I still was entertained by how they were able to create it. I really like the tertiary characters being used the way they did. Spoiler alert.
The baby was hilarious.
Baby, the 3 monkeys, the last surviving guy, which I already knew was the last surviving guy as soon as they walked into his house.
Right.
And then the boy, the riverboat shrimp selling boy. So I like how although they gave me things that I expected to see, how they delivered on that with the characters and then the story. So the story wasn't something that ground earth shattering. It wasn't something that was like a cultural, like it's not gonna be a iconic cultural Disney movie that talks about Asia and Pan Asia, India and Asia. I think it's a great reflection of the culture, but it's not going to be like how Black Panther was to Africans and African Americans. So but then again, I really did enjoy the messages in the story, which I thought at times were contradicting the way the story had it. Where trust, right?
Right.
Not so much trust, but in the end, trust. So Eric and I made the same comments about that, and they wove that through the story decently, well enough for me to feel like, okay, this makes sense. This seems happening to strengthen what they talked about before. I get it. But yeah, it didn't make me feel like the movie was like a Chris Terrio level of writing. You just felt like, okay, I think as now, in my mid-40s, I recognize a lot of these tropes probably faster than the next person. So it's not a bad thing. They're still giving me a pretty entertaining movie. So I mean, I enjoyed the story.
All right.
Yeah, I pretty much figured right away it's going to be like a quest movie. Like it's time to gather all the pieces of the Triforce, right, and defeat Ganon. So
literally what they did.
Yeah, exactly. So and yeah, there were some of the moments really touched me, like when the dad got turned to stone, and then
that hit Eric. That hit him in the feels.
My daughter laughed when he threw his daughter off the bridge.
Yeah, that was funny. And yeah, so I enjoyed the side characters. Really like the baby and the monkeys. They cracked me up throughout the whole movie.
They did.
Yeah,
should be great toys. Disney's smart.
Exactly.
Collectibles.
And the so this whole I don't know what you call it. What was that smoke that was trying to turn everybody's stone?
The druids.
The druids, yeah. So that one at the end, it was kind of a little bit much. Like I don't know how to describe it. It was just at the end when everybody was holding up a stone to keep them away, and I don't know. That part lost me a little bit, but
trust. It goes back to trust.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like you were saying, it feels like it hit all the tropes. It hit all the expected story plots, but it did it entertainingly. Like,
right.
You don't always need to break new ground with a story to be entertained.
Yeah,
I think that's where this one, especially in the genre it's in a Disney animated film, using tropes, go for it. Like use them all. just make sure you're doing it with interesting characters or a new plot, or I mean not a new plot, like a new location I've never seen, new visuals I've never done, action I haven't experienced with this setup before. So I thought that did well. All right, actors. Did anybody stick out to you? Did you think Raya? Did you think the antagonist, Aquafina's dragon, Sisu? You already said the dad. Great role for him.
Yeah, Daniel Day Kim. Yeah, great role. I thought, and I don't know her name. The antagonist we talked about. She stood out to me a lot.
Gemma Chan.
Yeah, it's Gemma Chan. Yeah,
she played Namari, and she's been in Crazy Rich Asians. Let Them Talk. I don't know that one. Dear Agnes, Captain Marvel. She was Minerva in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, her? Yeah, she was in a sci-fi show, Being Human. Yeah, I know you're talking about. That's who that was? Yeah, I liked her character probably the most because she, to me, was, again, these are not incredibly developed characters and super creative characters, but I thought her development and her writing,
she had the most
characters.
She had the most
she did. I definitely agree with that.
She did. So she stood out to me. Yeah, Gemma Chan, English actress.
Yeah, I thought Aquafina was funny as a dragon. So, but she's always funny. So.
Yeah, they didn't give her much to really, emote or.
I thought the dragon powers were interesting too. So
the different powers
running on the rain. Yeah,
that she was able to acquire as she went, but it wasn't overpowered. Like wasn't like once they got all the dragon powers, she like beat everybody up. It was,
she got those 6 infinity stones.
I will say,
form Voltron.
They did surprise me with killing the dragon off. I thought for sure they were going to resurrect her and have her do the thing.
No, I saw right through that. The Chekhov's gun, that story about how they were all the dinosaurs and they trusted each other, blah, blah, blah. I was like, there's a reason why they gave us that story. So when I didn't see it come up, I was like, something's going to happen that doesn't involve the dragon. I didn't quite figure it was going to be their crew. I knew it was going to involve Gemma. I didn't know it was gonna be
Yeah.
about Gambit and the whole.
No, I
party
knew they were gonna
instead,
have
you
to
know.
all come together and trust each other.
Yeah, like freaking Star Lord and Guardians of the Galaxy. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy, bitch.
Yeah, but I find it interesting. Sometimes you can use like fan reaction online, like what characters are being talked about, what characters are artists really interested in, and Namari seems to be that character that is getting a lot of response. You know, you might expect, you know, Aquafina's dragon to get more of a response, and I think she got some good response immediately, but Namari seems to be kind of a fan hit, with the being a little bit of the antagonist that comes around to being part of the hero gang.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll throw a sleeper. The
Mhm.
Riverboat Kid to me hit me as the second most entertaining character.
Oh, he was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a certain level of childness qualities about him in this crazy world that I really believe. I believe that this kid was by himself. His parents were gone. He was making a living selling, you know, shrimp out of the river, all this stuff, and then he was naive enough to believe what's in Raya, and then still follow through because when yeah, fantastical, yes, but the way he was written and the way like maybe he's a voice actor too. I dug that character throughout the entire movie. So he's probably my second favorite to watch
Wow.
on screen.
So that kid who played him was born in 2007. So he would be
14.
Yeah.
What was his name?
His name is Isaac Wang. Yeah, I would agree. I liked his character. He had a strong personality within that group.
For sure.
So overall, I would say I found it very entertaining, a very sharp movie, very on point. It didn't veer, didn't try anything wild, so you don't get like bonus points for ingenuity or anything. But I thought the visuals were so strong and action like you don't normally see in a Disney movie. Definitely, like James said, more I would expect out of an average anime than I would out of a Disney princess film. So why don't we go to grades? Unless you guys have anything else you want to add about this.
Well, I mean, I think the music score was pretty good too. And some scenes, it drove like the scene you talked about with Sisu.
Mm-hmm.
She was getting hit and then fell into the water. Whatever the music composition was going on in the background there, I thought it married really well that scene. I mean, definitely, I saw Eric. Eric was really at that point. He's visually there with the music and the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I think something that we don't really talk about some of these cartoon movies is like the score. I thought this one's probably one of the better ones I've seen in a long, other than Soul, a movie about music.
Right.
I think this is definitely better than a lot of the Disney princess style movies I've seen the last couple of years.
Oh, that's my fault because I don't hear the score. Like I'm so just visually, I'm so stuck in the visuals.
You're
Like
focusing on the cartoon drawing, huh?
well, I'll notice if something's really bad or out of place. Otherwise, like it's working if it's just has me in the moment with everything that's going on. And it's not just that. Like outside of say like Ray's theme in the new Star Wars was the only one that really stuck out to me. Like there's only one or two. Well, it's the same with the Imperial March. Like you know the Imperial March when that hits, it by itself brings you up. But like I don't hear the scores in most movies.
Except for the Oscars didn't give Tenet a nomination for their score. Talk about blasphemy. I know we're off the Oscars topic, but that's blasphemy, Keith.
Oh, that thing was overbearing.
Tenet was all score.
Overbearing.
And they didn't get nominated.
That's all you could hear.
See, this is the problem with the Oscars panels. Like, anyway, back to this movie and this.
Well, just grade it. We're just trying to grade it at this point. I think we gave it some pretty.
I gave it a
praise.
B+.
So did I.
Yeah, I was hovering around an A-, B+. I think I'm going with the B+ just because it didn't feel innovative story-wise, but everything else was just solid, right for the story, great cast, funny,
Same
everything you
feedback.
want in that style of movie, outside of something a little, peppier story
Look at
wise.
it. Eric's grade was an A, solid A. He said.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely see those kind of grades.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great movie to sit around with the family and watch, right? So
Yeah, I did that. We watched it this weekend with a whole bunch of other. We did a big movie thing with the family, with some of my extended family.
What were their grades?
The grade I got from them is a B. So
Collectively, a B?
yeah. Now my family just talked during the entire movie. They could not shut up for the life of them. But hey, they still gave it a B. So I'm like, wow, I expected less than that. You guys weren't paying any attention.
Oh.
Now it's funny because we watched The Mandalorian, and my brother-in-law was freaking out how much he loved The Mandalorian. He's like, let's watch The Mandalorian again. Everybody else is like, all right, we've watched 3 episodes. Let's go to something else. So we had a fun. We watched Thor Ragnarok. We watched Birds of Prey and Raya there. It was a pretty good night watching some good movies.
Nice.
The recommendation. Can't wait to our next movie review of The Teeth.
Oh my God, I'm gonna
actually.
I can't believe I'm gonna have
well,
to
next
it.
week's gonna be better.
Oh
yeah, I forgot.
We got Falcon and
Teeth
Winter
is at the end
Soldier.
of the month. Yeah.
We got Winter Soldier and we got
the
Zack
Snyder
Snyder
Cut.
Justice Cut.
Oh, there's some wild, like, it was funny watching, because the initial release, there was only a few people who got access to it, and they were all super fans, and they got to sit down with Snyder and whatever and watch it. And of course they were giving glowing reviews. They loved it, greatest movie of all time. And then you started to see it move through the internet, and then it was like, this is the greatest thing. Some real hyperbolic talk there. And then they're like, Rotten Tomatoes goes from 100 to like 70, 75, and they're like, oh, I can't believe people are putting it down. I'm like, I don't know. I'll be interested. I'm interested.
Yeah, the reviews are all over the place. So I don't know what to believe.
I think I've read enough of the reviews, non-spoiler versions of the reviews, even though I think we've seen this movie before.
Yeah, what's
I don't know what spoiler is. Like, after the 2017 movie and after what I saw in the trailers, which basically tells me, yeah, the 2017 movie is 90% of the beats that it's going to hit.
Right.
And apparently, I'm going to give it to Zack Snyder that the whole Joker trolling thing, that was a good troll.
Mm-hmm.
That they basically shot a Joker scene just to troll the internet. Yeah, I give it to you. It's like, that's solid.
Yeah. Well, we'll do our review next week. So.
All right. Well, if I can spare 4 hours to get through it, gosh, I still can't believe.
Well, just watch it. Look, it comes out Thursday. Watch an hour a night.
Yeah. We're gonna have to
Saturday.
Mike. We're gonna offer Zack Snyder to come on the show, and you're gonna show him how to use the editing suite, because I think he just doesn't know it exists. Like, you just be like, dude, okay, you can cut things. See this?
No,
See
well,
this
that was the problem.
necessary part.
He swept up everything that was on that editing room floor and put it back into the movie.
Put it back into the movie. In random order, too.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? I have a feeling that, like, WB, after the response BVS got, right? And that was him going, well, I have this big movie, but they told me I had to cut it down, and nobody likes the cut down version. If you watch the full thing, people will like it. And I think seems to be his MO, that I've got this grand vision and I have no idea how to make it a movie length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Alrighty,
we'll
then.
see. We'll judge it on its own merits.
Yes, we're gonna be fair and balanced with our review.
All right, Tucker. All right.
But it's Justice League, so you already know I'm prejudiced against them.
Just like Tucker.
Yeah, I guess. Terrible analogy.
Alrighty, guys.
So that's going to be it for us for tonight. Thank you, everybody. Hit subscribe. Pass us along.
Leave a comment. Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Send us a Twitter at Heroes
follow
Peak.
us on the social at Heroes Peak, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Oh, Mike's going with the soch.
Soch.
The soch. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I had fun tonight.
Night, everybody.
Sorry for the massive freak out of my bad computer. And thank you for joining us, Brooksy. I know you're not here, but thank you anyway.
I think my reverse jinx got his computer to malfunction. When I was like, I'll keep us on time this podcast.
That's right.